Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be learning active. Active voice in English. Active voice is used when the subject of the sentence performs the action. It is the most common structure used in spoken and written English. Active sentences are usually clear, direct, and easy to understand. In the active voice, the focus remains on who is performing the action. Example: the sentence scientists discovered a new medicine. In this slide, we understand the basic idea of active voice in English grammar. Active voice is used when the subject of the sentence performs the action. This means the subject is the one doing something. Active voice is the most common structure used in everyday spoken and written English because the subject performs the action directly. The sentence becomes clear and easy to understand. Active sentences are usually more direct and straightforward. They help the listener or reader immediately understand who is performing the action. For example, in the sentence, the scientist discovered a new medicine. The scientist is the subject and performs the action of discovering. This clearly shows that the sentence is written in active voice. Structure of active voice. Active voice follows a simple and natural grammatical structure. The basic formula is subject plus verb plus object. The subject performs the action expressed by the verb. The action receives the action. And example: subject she, verb is write, object is a letter. In this slide, we look at the structure of active voice sentences. Active voice usually follows a simple grammatical pattern. The basic formula is subject plus verb plus object. The subject performs the action expressed by the verb and the object receives the action. This structure makes the sentences logical and easy to understand. Because the order is simple, learners can easily form correct sentences. For example, in the sentence she writes a letter, the word she is the object, writes is the verb, and a letter is the object. The subject performs the action of writing. Active voice in present simple. Present simple active voice is used for general truth and regular action. The structure remains subject plus base verb plus object. It is commonly used in daily conversation and simply explanations. The verb changes depending on the subject. Example: the teacher explains the lesson. The students learn new concepts. In this slide, we learn how active voice is used in the present simple tense. Present simple activity sentences are used to describe general truth, daily activities, and regular action. The structure remains subject plus base verb plus object. Although the verb may not change slightly depending on the subject, this sentence is commonly used in everyday conversation and simple explanation. For example, in the sentence, the teacher explains the lesson. The teacher performs the action of explaining. Another example is the student learns new concept. In both cases, the subject clearly performs the action. Active voice in past simple. Past simple active voice describes actions that happened and finished in the past. The verb usually changes to past form verb to. It is widely used in stories, reports, and past experiences. The structure still follows subject plus verb plus object. Example: the chef prepared the meal. The students completed the project yesterday. In this slide, we focus on the active voice in the past simple tense. This tense is used to describe the actions that happened before and finished in the past. In these sentences, the verb usually changes to its past form. However, the structure of the sentence still follows the pattern subject plus verb plus object. Past simple activities is commonly used in stories, reports, and descriptions of past events. For example, in the sentence, the chef prepared the meal. The chef performed the action of preparing. Another example is the student completed the project yesterday. In both sentences, the subject clearly performs the action. Active voice in future tense. Now we look at the active voice in the future tense. This form is used to describe the action that will happen later. Future active voice describes action that will happen later. The structure is subject plus will plus base verb plus object. This is commonly used for plans, prediction, and promises. The focus remains on the person or thing performing the action. Example, the company will launch a new product. The teacher will explain the topic tomorrow. The structure used is subject plus will plus base verb plus object. This tense is commonly used while talking about plans, prediction, or promises. In these sentences, the focus remains on the person or the thing that will perform the action. For example, in the sentence, the company will launch a new product. The company performs the action of launching. Another example is the teacher will explain the topic tomorrow. When active voice is used, active voice is used when the air of the action is important. It makes sentence shorter, clearer, and more direct. Active voice is preferred in daily conversation and informal writing. Many writers use the voice to make their ideas stronger and engaging. Example, the manager approved the proposal. Active voice is used in many situations, especially when the person performing the action is important. One reason for using active voice is that it makes sentences shorter, clearer, and more direct. Readers and listeners can quickly understand the message. Active voice is commonly used in daily conversation, storytelling, and informal writing. It makes ideas sound stronger and more engaging. For example, in the sentence, the manager approved the proposal. We clearly know who performed the action. The direct structure makes the sentence easy to understand. Identifying active voice in sentences. In active voice, the subject performed the actions of the verb is the sentence usually follows the structure subject plus verb plus object. The subject appears at the beginning of the sentence and clearly performs the action. Identifying the subject and verb helps learners quickly recognize active voice. Example, the teacher explains the lesson. The student completed the assignment. In this slide, we learn how to identify active voice in sentences. Active voice can be recognized when the subject of the sentence performs the action of the verb. Most active sentences follow the simple structure of a subject, verb, and object. The subject usually appears at the beginning of the sentence and clearly shows who is or what is performing the action. This structure makes the active voice easy to recognize. To identify voice, learners should first find the subject and then check whether the subject performs the action. For example, in the sentence, the teacher explains the lesson. The teacher performs the action of explaining. Similarly, in the student completed the assignment, the students perform the action of completing the assignment. These examples clearly show active voice. Common mistakes in active voice. Some learners forget to include the object in the sentence. Others use incorrect verb forms with the subject. Confusion may occur when learners mix active and passive structure. Practicing sentences patterns can help avoid these errors. Example mistake incorrect she completed, and the correct is she completed the assignment. In this slide, we look at some common mistakes learners make when they are using active voice. One common mistake is forgetting to include the object in the sentence. Another mistake is using incorrect verb forms with the subject. Some learners also confuse active voice with passive voice, which can lead to incorrect sentence structures. For example, the structure she completed is incomplete because the object is missing. The correct sentence would be the she completed the assignment. Adding the object makes the sentence clear and complete. More active voice examples. Active. The teacher explains the lesson clearly. The students solve the problem together. The government built a new bridge. These sentences clearly show that the subject performs the action, which is the main feature of active voice. In this sentence, the teacher explains the lesson clearly. The teacher performs the action of explaining. Another example. The students solve the problem together, where the student performs the action. Similarly, in the sentence, the government built a new bridge. The government is the subject performing the action of building. These examples clearly show that in the active voice, the subject performs the action. This is the key characteristic that makes active voice clear and direct. Thank you guys for watching till the end. Till then, bye bye, and if you like this video, subscribe.